Whether or not to appoint an interim city administrator while Billy Russell is on sick leave was briefly discussed during the La Follette City Council workshop held last evening. Councilman Bob Fannin and Mayor Mike Stanfield said they felt the departments pretty much handled themselves and would be able to do so unless something specific came up, or we can appoint one of our department heads like we did with Jimmy temporarily until Billy gets back, Fannin said. I think she'll probably be back before long, and I say just let it run itself, Stanfield said. Councilwoman Stephanie Grimm agreed, saying that if something needed to be moved around, money-wise or purchased, to just call us and poll us. Last time we appointed Terry Schwett and we didn't have any problems, Councilman Hansford Hatmaker said, adding that in his personal opinion, Stan Faust or Johnny Burge could be appointed as interim city administrator, and that way there would be someone to handle any issues that may arise while Russell is gone. We can put it in their hands, and if they can't work something out, then they can come to us. That way we would still be where we were to start with, but we've got someone who can pretty well be accountable for the rest of you, Hatmaker said. He also pointed out that the mayor and council members could not serve as the interim city administrator. The board agreed to place the item on the agenda for next week's meeting. Shortly before the hour-long meeting's close, Hatmaker brought up the topic of grievances regarding Russell. Stanfield and Fannin both said they felt that Russell should be present for the discussion since the grievances involved her. Hatmaker, however, disagreed, saying in his opinion the grievances were not against Russell but against the city's policies and charter. Stanfield said he did not feel it was right to discuss it without her present and left the workshop. Other items discussed at the workshop included discussion regarding approximately $34,000 in funds raised from a surplus auction. Most of the stuff came from the police department, and we haven't even decided what to do with the money, Stanfield said. City Treasurer Terry Schwett explained to the board that the majority of the money would have to go back into the police department. If it was DUI seized vehicles, that money will go into the general fund, and then drug seized vehicles go 100% into the drug fund, Schwett said, adding that $17,250 would go into the drug fund. The figures and percentages will be broken down for the meeting. The board also discussed the old post office being for sale. It was offered to the city for $150,000. Police Chief Jimmy Jeffries spoke to the board about it, pointing out that the 911 board could possibly have a use for a larger building. That would be something to put to the 911 board, Jeffries said. Grimm asked the board members if the 911 board wasn't interested in the building if the city could find other uses for it. The main floor of the building is 5,000 square feet and also includes an upstairs and basement. Due to the building being a historical site, the front lobby cannot be remodeled, but everything else could be, and it could be changed to fit the city's needs. If 911 is not interested in this, what other options are there for the building? Asked Grimm. We could find a use for that building, Stanfield said. With it being so close to our other properties, it's not a bad price, no matter what we do with it, Hatmaker said. The building's owner said he had several other interested parties in the building, but that he had wanted to give the city first chance at the purchase. The item was placed on the agenda for Tuesday. Jeffries also spoke to the council and received permission to hire Mike Lawson part-time. He comes highly recommended and is paying his own way through the police academy. That's according to Jeffries and what he told the board. Street Department head Jim Mullins also received permission from the board to apply for an STP matching grant that, if received, would be used to redo the sidewalk from Massachusetts Avenue to the middle school. The grant would be for $90,000 and the city would have to provide $20,000. The grant is regulated by the Tennessee Department of Transportation and the Federal Highway Administration guidelines and can only be used where they say it can be used, according to Mullins, who pointed out that it could not be used to pave city streets. We've been talking about doing this for years and we're lucky no kids been killed, Stanfield said. Well, we have an opportunity to get it done, Mullins said. The board also heard comments from a citizen regarding the need to have her road on South Tennessee Avenue paved. She told the board that she had lived at her house since 1999 and that the road had never been paved and was in terrible shape. Grimm asked Mullins if he could have an estimate worked up to see what it would cost to have the street paved so the board could see the cost. Announcements during the meetings concluded. East La Follette Baptist Church is selling Thanksgiving dinners on November 7th for $7 a plate, and that's the cost, $7. Coats for the coal donations are being sought. Coats, new or in good condition, can be taken to the First Methodist Church from 9 to 3. The distribution will be at the old East La Follette School November 15th and 16th. It was a tense 18 hours or so for a Campbell County man and his family. 25-year-old Blake Douglas of Pioneer had not been seen since 11 p.m. Sunday when he left his home on a four-wheeler headed for Sand Gap Mountain in the Elk Valley area. Family members told authorities that Douglas did not return home and did not show up for work on Monday at Southern Tube Farm of Clinton, adding that these actions alone were very uncharacteristic of him. A missing persons report was called in to WLAF Monday afternoon around 4 p.m. and a search began. In the meantime, members of Douglas's family discovered his four-wheeler near Sand Gap Mountain. A short time later, Douglas walked to his home on Key Lane in Pioneer. First responders described Douglas as suffering from fractured ribs and other injuries after learning that he had been pinned underneath his four-wheeler all night and was eventually able to free himself and walk home. Campbell keeps inching its way up in the state rankings. The Cougars are fourth this week, moving up from the number 6 slot they held last week. Campbell County High School outpaced Carnes 41-19 Friday night at Dossett Stadium in the final regular season home game. The Henry County Patriots of Paris are the top-ranked teams, followed by the West Rebels, the Anderson County Mavericks, and then Campbell County. The Cougars, who chalked up a school record 8th win last Friday, visit the Powell Panthers Friday night. WLAF has the coverage beginning at 7 p.m. La Follette's Trunk or Treat is going to be this Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m. behind City Hall. The City of Caryville and Caryville businesses will also be having a trunk or treat from 5 to 8 p.m. at the ball field in front of Scotty's. And we turn back time this Sunday morning. That's right, you may want to turn your clocks back 1 hour before you go to bed Saturday night. Remember, in the fall we fall back, and in the spring we spring forward. So this time we spring back an hour. And that's a look at the news. We'll be right back with the press release. 9 people have been booked into the Campbell County Jail in the past 24 hours. Michael R. Farmer, 46, of Grace Avenue in Lake City, on a capious bench warrant, failure to appear, and forfeiture of a bond. 30-year-old Adam Daniel King of Broad Street in Jellicoe, for attempted theft. Matthew Roy Leinert, 33, of Old Dutch Valley Road in Clinton, for violation of probation. 19-year-old Taylor Thomas McKeel of Bates Lane in Caryville, for criminal trespassing. Johnny Patton Silcox, 49, of East Elm Street, La Follette, for driving on a revoked or suspended license, second offense, DUI, and violation of the seatbelt law. Raymond Matthew Teague, 29, of Jones Trailer Lane in La Follette, for criminal trespassing, theft of property under $500, and evading arrest. 34-year-old Adam Daniel Thomas of Hickory Hills, La Follette, for criminal trespassing and theft of property under $500. Robin Wallace, 42, of Corrington, for domestic assault. And last today, 41-year-old Carlo Richard Wilder of Mountain View Road in Jacksboro, on a capious bench warrant. And that's a look at our portion of the news and the press release for today. Stay with us. We got a lot more coming your way. And be sure, join us back here tomorrow for the midweek edition of the news.
Hey, Big Josh with you once again on this Tuesday afternoon, looking at our birthdays and anniversaries. Our Birthday and Anniversary Club is brought to you by your friends here at WLAF and Eastside Pizza and Deli. Our birthdays today, Laryl Duggar is celebrating today. Happy birthday to you, Laryl. And Aubrey Deshay Nash is celebrating a very special 18th birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Aubrey. Yesterday, Robert Lewis Kitts celebrated number 71. Happy birthday, Robert. And Tammy Leanne Nash had a birthday yesterday. Happy birthday to Tammy. And on Sunday, Andrew Goddard celebrated his 21st birthday. Now listen, if you're celebrating your birthday or your anniversary today, we would love to get your name on our list here, because that's the way you qualify to be in the drawing on Fridays, and you could win a birthday dinner for two or an anniversary dinner for two from your friends here at WLAF and Eastside Pizza and Deli. They're located in the Food Line Center. Hey, you all have a great one. Good Lord willing. See you tomorrow.